Browns.
That's how I was going to start.
All right, here we go. We're good?
Yeah.
What was my tweet?
In the words of Always Positive Jay on Twitter, good morning, good afternoon, and good night to any Browns playoff hopes, even though those were gone a long time ago. And boy, the moral victory train is really rolling down the tracks now. Oh boy, Browns Twitter, that's a fun place to be after the Browns lose and out of the playoffs. But oh my gosh, so much to look forward to. We're on to next year, guys. We're preparing for next year. Oh, that's such a fun time.
There's always next year. Oh, we're not sick of that by any means.
I've been sick of that for the last 5 years, if not more. So
it's been always next year since '99, Kevin.
I got rid of the it's always next year after the Cavs won a championship and ended the drought. So, Browns, as audio said, our producer extraordinaire, I'm not going to use the language you use, but for us to get ready for the show, get your stuff together and move on. Come on, Browns. Where are you? Maybe the future's bright. I don't know. They're not going to ruin our Sunday, and at least they can't suck the fun out of the next 2 Sundays. They sure can suck the fun out of your Saturdays. Oh, the Browns lose 23-10, and this is your Browns post-game show on the Big Play Network. We are known as the Voice of the Land. I'm Kevin Arnold. Across the table, it is always Positive Jay, and we already mentioned him. Audio, what Jarvis was to Iron Man, audio is to the Voice of the Land. His humanoid name is Peter Tellep. He is behind the proverbial glass. Wow, I can't talk tonight. At least I'll probably get through the show better than the Browns get through a football game. Oh!
Flag.
Another one.
They're still coming.
The flags just
flying
flying.
everywhere.
Undisciplined football is what we saw today. But
that would be an improvement.
That would be improvement.
That was terrible.
That was hard to watch in the first half.
You know what makes it worse, too, is all the flags are black and yellow. It just makes it worse. Just constantly see the black and yellow, and you're like, oh, great. Black and yellow making my life more terrible.
All I see is the yellow. Where's the black at?
In the writing, the words. And on the very tip of the flag or the thing is black.
Oh.
But I'm talking about when the screen that comes up on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
The writing is in black, and then it's all yellow. I'm like, dude, every time I got to see black and yellow. It's like, guess what? You're going back 10 yards again.
They're going back 10 years, and the Steelers are. Welcome to the bottom of the barrel in the AFC North, Pittsburgh. We've been waiting for someone else to join us that's been beating up on us for the last few years. Welcome. It's not fun.
No.
I have more faith that you guys will have more success moving forward than we will.
I remember when you asked me to do this. You're like, Jay, we're doing the post game for the Browns. I'm like, sweet. And this is after 2020. Mm-hmm. Where's the fun I was thinking about for this team? It's never happened.
So you're saying you're the fun sucker?
No.
There we go.
Oh, there it is. We finally found the reason.
It's like, man, when you told me, I swear I thought I was just gonna. I'm like, oh my god, we're ready to roll after that playoff run we had with Baker and the boys and stuff. And then he comes and he gets hurt and everything sucks. And then this year happens. And yeah, we really never got to have that fun post game show.
Well, since we're having,
we have fun still.
Yes, we have
not
fun
with the Browns because thank God we have the other 3 teams. But
since we're having so much fun with talking Browns football on a Sunday, here's what we'll add to it. You just mentioned his name, Baker Mayfield. What was his biggest criticism? Oh, he couldn't lead fourth quarter drives to win a game. What does he do 2 days, less than 48 hours after joining a team that is also bad? Let's face it, another team that's bad, but he leads a fourth quarter drive and drops a dime in the end zone. So, we're all thriving out here.
Yeah, we're doing good.
At least football is getting fun, and the actual American football is not. You know who will help you have fun or at least get you in the right job? That is Vector Technical. We are brought to you by Vector Technical. They'll get the right person in the right job the first time. Make sure to stay tuned. We'll have more information on them as we go. This is the time of year. You're looking for a little extra money around the holidays, or you need a job. They're the people to reach out to. More information on them to come. We can't thank them enough for continuing to support us here at the Voice of the Land. the Browns need to thank their fans for continuing to support them for all of these years, and I know the support will continue to be there. Jay, that we were just talking about it. We got to start with that first half. I mean, there's been undisciplined football with this Browns team. Boy, that was just disgusting, ugly. Every single play, flags flying every which way, and the biggest issue is you put a good play together and everyone starts turning around to see if there's laundry on the field. That's the hardest thing to do as a football player. You're like, can I celebrate? Yellow. No, it's there. Dang it. Who did what? I just made a good play.
Oh my God, the one Clowney when he had the illegal hands to the face called. I forget who it was on. Clowney.
Isaiah Thomas, I think it was.
He thought he got flagged. He was like, I didn't ruffle him. I was just clean with it. And then he's like, oh my God, why did you do that? I had him. Oh, that has got to drive him nuts.
And every image from the game too was, at least from the Cleveland side, was Browns hitting Burrow, but it was all of the plays where there was a flag that nullified the sack. I think we got 2 sacks today, or Myles Garrett may have gotten a couple sacks today, but it was hard to tell because every time they had actually gotten to Burrow and he wasn't finding Jamar Chase, and Jamar Chase wasn't running away from the Warden, Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, anything like that. And they were without their other top wide receivers. We were down to their 4th and 5th string wide receivers. Even those guys are making plays. They're pulling tricks out of their bag. Yeah, it was fun to see Myles Garrett tackle Jamar Chase. Did Myles Garrett get a sack for that?
I don't know if he did.
I don't think he did. It may have been a tackle.
Because I'm wondering where the second sack came from. I know he had one, and I'm going back through the game and like some of the plays in my head. I'm trying to figure out.
Did he have one right in the beginning of the first drive?
No, because they met after that one where Burrow ran and Myles tackled him it was a tackle for a loss. The announcer still said that the Browns didn't have any sacks today.
So then I wonder if it was if they credited him for when Chase attempted to pull up for a pass and then realized there's no one there, and that was about as easy as it comes to getting a sack.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
How do we sound, Peter? Because I'm seeing maybe that they're like this, or our sound is down, or we're echoey out there.
Shouldn't be echoey at all
on the stream. So I'm getting messages about that, but just wondering. We can't hear, like, all we hear crisp, clean sound.
Yeah, I don't hear anything
through the headphones. But we know, like, sometimes, and I give Peter all the credit in the world having to go through, like, putting us through the live stream the way we have to go through to be live on Twitter. That system doesn't always. Yeah,
the Browns have infrastructure.
I was about to say the same thing.
They've gotten into our system here.
Yeah,
don't want a flag on the system.
But the Browns have no system right now.
Oh no!
Like, and if the Browns really cared about winning, and this isn't to drum up some like controversy or anything like that, why? Like, if you're really about winning and not preparing for next year by having Deshaun Watson work out the rust as much as he can through 6 games. Don't you think we would have seen Jacoby Brissett?
Probably. I mean, this is one of those weird situations. It's like they have to get this dude to get playing, and like they say, his ceiling is higher than Brissett's, but his floor is lower than his right now. It can be. I mean, what, 3 points in the first half or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we just got to suffer through it. They're going to make us suffer through it. Hopefully, the payoff is next year.
Yeah. He looked better, but also receivers weren't separating from their defensive backs. Nobody, uncomplimentary football. That has been the staple of the Browns, no matter who's behind center.
Man, when Njoku caught that touchdown pass and dove, and you see him pumping up the sidelines, and then we get a stop. Wouldn't you have thought, like, I'm like, man, why don't they just go to Njoku right now? Just feed him the rock. I don't even care if someone's on him. Throw it up high. That dude's balling right now. I'm like, I would have sit Njoku on a fly route and be like, I don't care if he's double covered. Throw it up there and just do it, and David Njoku can do. I don't think I heard from him again after that.
I think he made a couple plays on some of those other drives when they got
Like
stopped on fourth down because they had to go for it.
First downs and stuff, yeah, but nothing like no big plays. What I'm saying.
Boy, if they could have gotten that touchdown, and I know what if all this type of stuff, it doesn't really matter. We'll live in a hypothetical world for just a brief moment, though. If they would have gotten that touchdown when they had 4 plays to do so and then ended with that jump ball to Peoples-Jones, who, I don't know, either jumped late or tried to catch it with his body instead of high pointing the football, putting his arms up to try to go get it, and maybe came down with it. Yeah, the play call, not a great play call on fourth down because you're not a high percentage play. But those are the difference between good teams and bad teams in the NFL is the good teams to great teams, their players go make plays, even if the play call isn't the best in the situation or the throw isn't the best from the quarterback. Guys go make plays. Look at, and this isn't to dwell on Baker or anything like that. This isn't drumming up all of those old conversations. He's out of here. He's gone. But this is just the best example I have because I actually saw it happen. Ben Skoranek, on an underthrown ball by Baker, a bad ball, he goes up over the defender, reaches just over the defender, and hauls in the pass, makes a play for the quarterback. Throw wasn't great. Maybe not the best call in the situation. And they're kind of a bad team, but the Rams, they're coming off as defending Super Bowl champions. So there's a culture there. Even when any difficult season, guys are still playing, they're going to make a play for their quarterback. Bad teams that stay bad, those plays don't get made. And I'm not saying anything against DPJ or anything like that. That's just how you see it happen.
Yeah, it sucks. Man.
Nothing.
I mean, no. I thought it was over the second,
when the Browns got to 3-7 as a record, all of this playoff talk that started to drum back up, getting close to 500, that ship had sailed a long time ago. But again, you had to
get interesting and put pressure on the Bengals because your defense played decently well. Jamar Chase is going to get his. My only issue with Jamar Chase getting as many yards as he did today was it looked like the exact same play every time. An 11-yard up and out, and he is wide open because the cushion is so far off. He's going a yard past the sticks, and you're still not closing in on him. I loved Denzel Ward's close when they tried that little bubble screen or pass out to him when they were, I think they were at the 10-yard line or something like that. They were in the red zone, the Bengals were, and Denzel read it so well. Just like that play you see on his highlight reel from Ohio State. He lit Jamar Chase up.
That was a hit.
But you didn't see that the rest of the time. Like that closing speed, using that closing speed. There was none of that. And he's just getting these 10-yard, 11 yards. And guess what? That starts a drive. And you're backing off. Guess what? These guys are going to find the space. Good players, good teams are going to find the space, and that's what they did. And Jamar wasn't even intended for the touchdown that he caught, or like he was intended, but he didn't know he was intended for it.
Oh yeah, that even the commentators were talking like, I don't think he knew that ball was coming. He's like, as soon as he turned around, he's like, oh, look, a ball right here. Oh, good. It was a hell of a throw by Joe Burrow.
I mean, and that's why
today was decided on the two big keys to me. Were one, when they didn't go for the field goal, because that's turnover on down. So it's points you don't take. It's a momentum shift. And they went right down and scored a touchdown on that. And then the other one is when Tony Field just ran right into the kicker. That was terrible. That wasn't even a close ticky-tacky, was it really rough? No, he about leveled that dude. What happened? Gave that dude another chance, and now he's really rolling. After that touchdown, I'm pretty sure that's when Riz sent the text out, ball game. I was like, dude's 75-0 when he calls the ball game text, apparently. I'm like, oh, well, I wanted to turn the game off. I'm like, oh, great, I got to do this post-game show. I have to watch it and torture myself.
Unfortunately, I'm 2-0 when predicting Browns games. We'll get to that.
Oh, great.
Next.
Yeah.
For those that know the show, know that I don't like to make predictions about teams that involve my fandom, I have. Fortunately, unfortunately, it's gone 1-1 in the Browns' favor and lack thereof. We'll talk about that and go around the league next. This is your Browns post-game show right here on the Big Play Network. This is the voice of the land.
Whether you're looking to hire new talent or start a new career, Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that has helped thousands of job seekers advance in their career with reputable partners throughout Northeastern Ohio. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. With an above-average hire-in rate of 1 in 4 candidates, Vector works hard to connect the right person with the right opportunity the first time. Vector Technical hires for skilled manufacturing and light industrial work and is sure to have a career that you've been looking for. To learn more, visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com.
Welcome back to the Voice of the Land. Went to break talking Browns losing to the Bengals 23-10. Joe Burrow finally getting a win in 5 tries.
Do you think he was sick of hearing about that by any chance?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe every Browns fan that said something, and
every Browns fan, every Browns
Bengals media,
every
national
media. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, we're losing.
If
sports gambling was legal, I would have put a pretty good bet against the Browns today.
I would have too.
I just knew it. I knew it. Don't give me the crap. It's always positive, Jay. Dude, sports. But yeah, I just knew. I'm surprised he didn't go off more than what he did. I thought he was going to go for like 450 yards and 4 touchdowns.
And I think that something what has to do with that is, trying to work Joe Mixon back in, and they started to find a groove later on in the game with their running attack.
They did what they had to do to win.
They did what they had to do, and didn't have Tyler Boyd or T. Higgins either. Like having those 3, those 2 alongside Jamar Chase, that opens up everything else. Yes, their other wide receivers did what they had to do.
Could you imagine if we didn't have David Bell and Donovan Peoples-Jones today?
Boy, there would be a 0 up on that board because they made key plays.
But the Bengals scored 20-something points still.
Yeah. That's how dynamic they are. That's how good they're going right now. They've won 5 straight. And again, I don't want to say if you beat the Browns, that's determines like how good of a quarterback you are or how good of a player you are. But losing to them in 4 of his starts and the last 5 games as a team in the Bengals, they've been hearing about it. Burrow's been hearing about it. If you really are that dude, no matter what team that's against, if you have to keep hearing about that, if you are that dude, you're going to take care of it sooner rather than later. And he did. That's not to say that the Browns can't beat Joe Burrow in the future. They can. The Bengals are definitely beatable. But that was the only conversation instead of how can Deshaun get better this week.
So when all you guys play schedule games next year, don't go, oh, it's the Bengals. We own them. We'll get 2 wins.
Can't do that anymore.
No, you can't do that.
I know
it's gone.
Oh, but they're 5-1 against him. So what? You now have given him confidence that he can beat any team, and especially teams in his own division, to try to go own the AFC North and be what the Steelers or the Ravens have been for the last many years. Joe Burrow is trying to be what Ben Roethlisberger was and what Lamar Jackson is trying to be. Joe Burrow is trying to be that dude. And now he just raised his confidence level that much more. And that's why I made the prediction that the Bengals were going to win today. Yes, I have a job that, on game days, part of my job is to run board for our local pregame show. And at the end of the show, there are predictions. The first few times I did the show, it was just the 2 hosts that did it. And I thought, that's totally fine. I'm just working my way into the business. I don't need to talk every segment. I don't need to be involved. I need to earn that. That's part of what all of this has been about. Yes, it is a career aspiration for me, and I want to continue to earn each level that I get to and hopefully not take it for granted. I am trying my best not to do that every step of the way. But you also know that I don't like to make predictions when it involves a team that I root for. And yes, I still do root for the Cleveland Browns. As difficult and as much as I have wrestled with that all season long for obvious reasons, I still root for Cleveland. What's supposed to be on the front of the chest? It's not there anymore because they did a horrible job with it with the last uniforms. But what is theoretically on the front of the chest?
Cleveland.
It's Cleveland. So I root for Cleveland. I don't like to make predictions. I have this superstition about that. But I also know what my job is. And when I'm asked to do something at my job, I will do it.
Kevin can tell us no. He can't tell them no. And I absolutely loved it. And I laughed pretty good when I heard it on the radio, and I had to let you know.
Fortunately, last week, I said that the Browns were going to win against the Texans. That was an easy pick because the Texans are the worst team. They had the Cowboys on the ropes today, still found a way to lose. Are they trying to lose? Yeah, I'm not going to make any accusations.
All I know is they love when we lose.
I ain't getting into that.
They love when we lose.
Yes, they do. But this week, with a team that was coming in with 4 straight wins, coming off of a game against Kansas City, it's a little different when you're coming off of a big game in the NFL because you have an entire week to try to get over that emotional high and refocus to the next week, and the good teams are able to do that versus, hey, the Cavs just beat the number 1 team in the Western Conference, and they got to come back 2 nights later or a night later or the very next night. They got to come back and they got to play some mid-level team or low-level team. Oh, they got beat by a team they shouldn't lose to. Oh, emotional high, trying to get through that. They hopefully had their minds recalibrated. A little different in the NFL. So anybody that thought that they were coming off a big win against Kansas City and the Bengals thought it was going to be easy against the Bengals again.
Here's what just drives me nuts, man. If you're the Browns and you're like, all right, we got our quarterback back. And then, unfortunately, we don't ever root for injury, but you hear Lamar Jackson got hurt. He's going to be out for a couple games.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, all right, we could beat the Bengals. We could start getting control. You literally had the chance to, really suck us all back in, and you pooped the bed.
That's what they're going to have to get past. When the moment gets biggest,
shrink.
If you notice,
the bigger the moment, the smaller they shrink, dude.
Exactly right. When people start saying this is the biggest game of the year for the Browns, or, they start out decently well, boy, this is going to be a real test. Who doesn't show up? The Cleveland Browns. Who does that fall on? Where does the blame fall? Falls on everybody, but it falls on your coaching staff for not getting you ready and having you prepared and not listening to all this noise. Like, this is such a big game and underperforming, but it's also on the players for not going out there and executing. And
the offensive line got manhandled today.
That's probably been
the great offensive line of the Browns.
One of the most overrated units.
Oh my God. Are they? And I get it. You're on their 3rd string center. That's going to put you back.
Right.
But I'm sorry. And I don't like to make fun of players, but Jedrick Wills, oh boy, man, you're going to have a rough offseason, man. I don't know if he'll be back.
I don't know either. Because
every good running play, it seems like if there's a flag, I'm like, Wills.
Either Wills or Conklin, and that's a shame to say too.
Yeah,
it's 71 or 78.
Yeah,
I'm shocked when I see 75. Not shocked at all when I see 72, which is Froholt, which is the replacement center right now.
I give Froholt a lot of leeway because he's a
guard.
He's a guard playing center. So
right, and I understand that. And there are, we talk about, well, you can't make excuses. There's, to a certain extent, there is extenuating circumstances that, not to make excuses, there's still execution that Froholt has to do and he's capable of doing. And if he's not doing it, that is a problem. That is the realistic look at it. Not like, oh, he can't play center at all, but he's in there. No, he has capabilities along an offensive line. It's the transition from snapping the football to blocking to being in a different gap. All of those things, it takes a lot longer to take on than people actually realize. When the basics are right in front of you and you don't execute them, that's a problem. But this offensive line, I think, is overrated.
I just got a big problem with Jedrick Wills. I've always said, I don't care. Just try your hardest. And I just keep seeing this film breakdown after film breakdown of him. Like, someone will get past him, will turn, and he just looks like he just stops and gives up on the play. And dude, You got a scrambling quarterback now. There is no giving up. You got to be a head on a swivel and see the next guy. You got to knock on their ass. You can't quit on plays and just become lollygagging on a play. It'll drive me insane.
Is it wrong to say soft?
Oh, do you want to talk about the defense?
Oh, boy.
Is that what you were bringing up? The defense?
Well, I mean,
because if you want to talk about soft, man,
speak on
that
it.
secondary is as soft as it get. Outside that Denzel Ward hit, there's as soft as it get. And Grant Delpit, oh my God, did that boy get burned today?
He got burned several times.
All year.
He's been burned all year. And we thought that was going to be a bright spot after, him coming off
the draft,
coming off a major injury, what he was able to do last year. And again,
I'm sorry, like that injury excuse ain't there no more.
No, it's not at all.
You had a full healthy year last year, a full healthy year this year. Dude, you're playing like garbage.
What was supposed to be the strongest unit of this team?
The secondary, the lockdown secondary.
Just the defense in general.
It's all regressed.
Because guess what the conversation was in the offseason? It was, if we had even average quarterback play, this team would be in the playoffs. This defense is too strong for that. When we come back next year and we got better quarterbacks, and while I continue to trash a guy that's not even here anymore, when we come back and we got other quarterbacks, we're going to be so good. We're going to be 11-6, 12 and whatever. How is that
me,
worked
guys.
out?
That was me. That was totally me.
Sorry.
I really did think the defense was going to be good.
All right.
They fooled me.
It's a terrible impression of anything, but that's just the voice I hear when I read.
Yeah, I know.
If I even like,
I know you weren't mocking me, but I'm like,
right.
Man, I was saying all that stuff before the season started.
I try to be like a really nice person. Like I feel like a good person. So I feel guilty right now, even mocking anybody.
Oh, no,
that's what I hear when I even give credence to read a couple pieces of Brown's Twitter. Like that's all I see. Oh boy, if we had average quarterback play, well, guess what? You're getting
another one.
You're getting average quarterback play.
How many times this year did you hear if we had Deshaun Watson, we would have made that play. We would have won this game if we had Deshaun Watson.
Oh yeah, everybody.
The last two games, I'm like, I think we would have been better if we had Brissett right now.
And yes, the word fan comes from the word fanatic, so everything is going to be exaggerated. Like, oh, I'm sure he won't have any rust. Oh, well, when I think about it, he'll probably have a little rust, but probably get out of it after the first quarter against Houston and look really good. And then going into that Cincinnati game, he'll knock off all the rust and we'll take off from there because the Bengals, we just have their number and Joe Burrow's never going to beat us. Every opposite always happens, especially when those conversations become the loudest or the most frequent.
I am glad he did look better. Like he looked a lot better.
Yeah. And like,
you could just see though, like he just needs time. Like there was the one play early he missed down to Peoples-Jones. They pointed out wide open. The decision making is not like boom, 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 like a quarterback would be. These guys right now are really playing preseason football against guys that are now week 14 ready.
So just don't come out during the week. And we know that you can't just talk about it. You got to be about it. We know that we don't try to listen to press conferences. I hear them a little bit more now than I did in the past, but don't come out here and tell us you're going to Cincinnati to win. That is your goal. Yes, Deshaun is our quarterback, but we are going to Cincinnati to win. We are trying to get back on track, spinning this tail and keeping the conversation, keeping the hopes alive. Like we can get back on track. We're still working on it. There's a chance for us. We're going to give everything we got. This is not against Deshaun, the football player. A guy is in preseason football right now. An offense, and I know Riz tweeted this, and a bunch of other people mentioned this. The Browns offense is in preseason mode. Everybody else is in week 14 preparing for a playoff run. If you really wanted to win or had the goal to win, and I'm not saying they're not trying to win, but if you truly had only that mindset, 6 games to knock off the rust, I don't know. If that guy, I'm not trying to, again, say that there should be a quarterback controversy or anything like that. And like Jacoby Brissett, is this all becoming or whatever? that franchise quarterback, but he was doing what he needed to do for this team. And it seemed like other pieces were starting to turn things around. And now you're going back to the beginning of the year where you're making the same kind of mistakes because the guy is trying to get 700 days of rust off, let alone get into the flow of a season when everybody's already in the main flow. Just don't spin me a tale. Let me know what it is. Like, we're always going to go win a game, but Deshaun is our quarterback now and in the future, so we are playing him. We are working through that. Just be honest with it. Don't make it seem like you're winning to actually go win everything.
Well, from here on out, it's just breaking down pretty much Watson now.
Yeah, which is
fantastic.
Yeah. It's conflicting. It is conflicting. We were going to go around the league. I think we could do that next. We'll briefly go around the league and then switch gears to some other sports because, Cavs are still playing. They're doing well, trying to find that consistency, in terms of personnel available. We'll talk about that. And, we're going to talk soccer. We're going to talk about football on here. European football or football as they
football.
On the other side, though, we do need to give out some well wishes, some prayers too, because we were going to do that in the beginning. We didn't. Somehow we got onto a Browns rant when we said they weren't going to suck the fun out of our Sundays. I'm actually having fun doing the show tonight. Like, I'm actually not that angry. It's just
there's a text thread with, I think it's like me and a bunch of the RBSers and Riz.
Yeah.
I was lighting up the Browns so bad. I'm like, is it bad that I don't even get mad anymore? I just make fun of them, and they're just like a clown show to me now. I'm like, I can't cry anymore, so I'm just going to laugh at it anymore. That's all I can do.
Find your entertainment, and you can get it. And hopefully, people that tune into our show, you find entertainment as well. We'll bring more entertainment on the other side of the break, but if you need some Voice of Land gear, you need that last-minute gift idea for Christmas or the holiday season, we got just where you can go to get those gifts. Get your Voice of Land gear right here in the middle of this break. Make sure you stay tuned to that. This is the Voice of Land on the Big Play Network.
Are you struggling to hire the right talent or maybe even find the right career? Vector Technical makes it easy. Since 1992, Vector has provided Ohio employers with a reliable process for hiring and have helped thousands of job seekers advance in their careers. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. We invest time to get to know each client and candidate personally. Vector places people in job opportunities that they are truly excited about. Interested in learning more? Visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com to see a full list of our current job opportunities and to find out what Vector Technical can offer you.
Get your gear at voiceoftheland.com/shop.
Welcome back to the Voice of Land. Kevin Arnold alongside Always Positive Jay and Audio, our producer extraordinaire. We talked way too long about the Browns, but that, again, doing our job, what we were unofficially assigned to do, we made it our job to do it, so we are following through on what we did. We said we would do. So we are the Browns post-game show for the Big Play Network, talking Browns, talking football. Before we get into some of these scores from around the league today, did want to send a huge congratulations, well wishes out to the Paulus family, OG of the show, Nick Paulus, and his wife, Kelly. They did announce that they are expecting their first child. They've been trying for a while with the IVF and all of those types of things. So good to see that they're expecting, progressing through it, and of course had their DC themed gender reveal today. Paulus, I know, has been on the edge of his seat. They've known for 2 days. They didn't know. Kelly and Nick didn't know. But Kelly, when she got the notification from, I think it's like Cleveland Clinic, My Chart, or like whatever the app is, she gave it to her friend who was ever organizing it. Didn't want to see it. They did the
true surprise.
They said, is it going to be a Batman or a Wonder Woman? What will it be? I think the names picked out were Michael or Lillian for a boy or a girl. And they are having a boy. So congratulations, Nick and Kelly, on the.
You could see how pumped Nick was about it.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, trust me, every parent's like, I really just want a healthy baby.
Yes.
But I don't care. And Kevin, don't answer this. Every guy wants a boy first, and I don't care who you are. Like every guy is like, if they want a girl, but it's nice to have that boy first, because then you could have the brother to look after the daughter. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Yeah.
see, with us, we have 2 boys, right? So it was interesting because we found out, we didn't do a gender reveal. We found out the gender for Jacob, and then when we went in for Joseph, we didn't know. So we're at the ultrasound, and the tech's like, do you want to know what it is? And we're like, yeah. And we were both kind of like to each other, like, we just want a healthy baby, and I'm like, I always feel boys are a little bit easier, than girls. And it was funny because I didn't want to say anything, but as soon as they're like, it's a boy, Debbie's like, yes. So she's the one that did it. I looked at her, it was funny because she thinks they're easier too.
I mean, I didn't. So we also know what we're having. I don't like, I want to make sure that give just due to that. It's very difficult to have to talk to Peter right now, because even I can't really see him. It's like Wilson from home over the fence. But I mean, congratulations to Nick and Kelly. But for us, for Jana and I, we thought about waiting until, we had the kid to see what gender they were, if it was boy or girl. But we also thought, well, we're already having people, and this really happened. We were only 3 or 4 weeks in when we first found out. We told very close family, because we also wanted to make sure we set, not only that we told close family, but we also set up a support system, because that first trimester can always be the most difficult. And what is that going to look like getting through that? So we had people that we had told already buying us stuff and telling us that they were gender neutral stuff, when clearly it was for one gender or the other. So we also realized in some of those moments, it's probably going to be easier when we tell the people that will be involved in our baby shower, or they get us stuff to help along the way. Probably easier if they know what the gender is too. So we found out, I think, kind of the same way that the Pauluses found out. We are also having a boy. It'll be named Lincoln Alexander Arnold,
which I think is an awesome name.
I kind of wanted Kevin Jr. if we had a boy, but so the compromise was taking my middle name. And then we have other names already situated for any other kids that we have, and they have, definitely family ties to them, honoring as many family or the deep, rich history of our families as much as we can. But Lincoln Alexander is due in May, so we are excited to say that. We did a nice little thing up in Bronner's, which I know you're going to soon, up in Michigan, the big Christmas store. We'll have a holiday special next week, because it'll be more fun on Sunday after having a day to process a Browns game. Whatever happens on Saturday, we'll have a lot more fun on Sunday night. And we're blessed. But did I want a boy or a girl first? I honestly can tell you, I didn't care. I honestly didn't care. And I've seen a lot of the girl dad movement from, Kobe and then on, and honoring him and his legacy with people kind of hashtagging girl dad or being proud. I've coached both boys and girls. I've, seen as much of that as I can. I didn't care. I just wanted to be a dad, and I wanted to build a family.
Well, I mean, aren't you guys going to have a bunch of kids? I think planning on it.
4.
Yeah, I think your odds were you were eventually going to get a boy. Maybe that had a lot to do with it,
right? And we are happy that it is a boy.
So we'll say 99% of men get really, or parents just get so pumped when it's the first one's that boy.
And I'll explain it to you guys kind of off air, why we're excited that Lincoln is coming into our lives. A little bit more maybe wanting a boy than a girl, not anything. More internal circle for that, and we'll talk about that. But we really get off on.
We always do.
We always do. We said we would go around the league. I don't know. I mean, the Buccaneers were getting beat 35-0. At one
Fox pulled the game.
Fox pulled the game.
Yeah, they switched it.
Jeez.
I think Tom Brady's done. What do you think?
I think he is too.
Yeah, it's time to quit.
Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah,
LeBron has even said that.
I got to give it to him. He was beating Father Time longer than anyone else I've seen. But
yeah,
eventually gets everybody. You cannot beat it forever.
I was at the Cavs game against the Lakers on Tuesday night. I saw elements of LeBron that I've seen his entire 20-year career. I also saw inklings that Father Time is coming. He said it himself, Father Time is undefeated. You just have to know when it's time to go. When your time to hang up the sneakers, hang up the cleats, when that time is, you have to know that. As I look at at my ESPN app here, if you're watching on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, wherever it may be, and I'm not looking at the camera right now.
The Broncos scored 28 points finally. They finally scored a bunch of points. They lose. Of course, they had to go against Mahomes because their defense has been great all year, but their offense is so bad. They scored 28 points and they lose. I'm like, that I don't care. I don't like the Broncos. That was kind of funny. I love it.
Broncos country.
Let's
ride.
Yeah, that is the worst trade in like a long time.
Let's ride to crap.
What a weird dude.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. I would say game of the day would be Bills Jets. I know there wasn't a lot of points scored, but that was a close one throughout. And Jets have given the Bills fits this year. They beat them once, and now the Bills get them at home. Jaguars beating the Titans. Lions beating the Vikings. I know the Lions were favored by 2 points. We're not really a betting show, but starting to learn about it because betting is going to be legal here soon in the state of Ohio. So getting a sense of what all of that's about so we can help explain that. We want to talk about everything on this show. We want to be well educated. I thought the Vikings were going to feel disrespected by that. And each time I kind of get on the Vikings train that they're for real, they have a letdown game. Ravens lost their second string quarterback today, still beat the Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, they had Kenny Pickett went out with a concussion, and Mitch Trubisky came in and threw 3 interceptions. That'll help.
Well, both quarterbacks.
Eagles win again.
That's
not just
surprising.
Thank you for proving that the Giants are Fugazi.
Yes. Yeah.
I was getting so sick of the Giants are back. And like, no, they're not.
They have Danny Dimes.
Yeah, until they have a new quarterback, they're not going anywhere.
And he ain't dropping dimes. He's penny pinching out there.
He's penny pitcher, Danny.
Panthers just beat the Seahawks. So,
oh wow!
So another win for Sam Darnold at the helm there. Tonight's game is it's the Dolphins at the Chargers, and then of course, the Rams beat the Raiders on Thursday night. This is set up weird. Like, why is the Thursday game why is it in between the Sunday night game and the Monday night game? Monday night game is Patriots at the Cardinals. If the Patriots are going to make any sort of run under Bill, you got to get a road game like
they
this.
Ain't no good either.
They're.
I'm sorry, Mac Jones. He's also sucks.
Yeah, everybody was so high on him last year.
And I'm like, I don't see it. I just didn't see it. I'm like,
this is why you give draft classes.
That's why they give 3 years.
I mean, we all love the grades after the draft. We love going through and breaking down the draft.
Dude, I mean, the Browns have won after the draft. The Browns, I feel like, have won every draft, and then every 3 years later, you're like, man, all those guys are gone. They're not like half of them in the league.
They don't call us paper champions or off-season champions for nothing. The team that has the most hype
20
fans
years running.
After the offseason or as the offseason goes, the most hyped fan base that gets let down the most right here in the city of Cleveland. You can win the offseason all you want. You can win the press conferences all you want. But if you don't go out there and you ain't about it out there on the field, like I don't know, some point something's gonna change. Like the frustration has to boil over at some point. And I think people are just the frustration hasn't this year because of the guy that's now playing quarterback and the expectation being able to work through all the issues, all the kinks, all work off all the rust through 6 games this year. That way, going into the offseason, ready to prepare the normal way and then have a true preseason build into the regular season next year. That's really the only hope. And that's why you will probably be breaking down Deshaun Watson more than anything else.
Yeah.
Moving forward, if we do
wins and losses really don't matter anymore. Now they're just like, hopefully you win to get, moral support going, feeling like you're a winner, but I don't know. I don't see it happening.
And if you tune into our show only because we talk Browns, I'm going to level with you. It's probably only going to last a segment each and every time. Yes, we're a post-game show, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot more Cavs talk and a lot more movie talk.
Something fun.
Because
fun. I can't do
I can't do
show on the Browns.
I don't know if I can ever do a whole show on the Browns, but
I could, but it'd just be complaining the whole time. And I don't know. I don't think anyone wants to hear me sit there and complain for an hour.
No. You know who you can't really complain about, you're kind of going through the ebbs and flows of the season? That's the Cavs. We'll talk about them and the World Cup update and a couple other prayers.
We got an event to plug to on the other half of this.
Prayers and well wishes. We got a lot to do in a short segment. Can we get out by 8 o'clock? Can we set a record for the Voice of Land and get out right at 8 o'clock?
I'm guessing no, but we'll try.
Tune in and find out right here on the Voice of Land, the Big Play Network.
Are you looking for a career in manufacturing? Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that is partnered with some of the biggest and the best companies throughout Northeastern Ohio. The recruiters at Vector Technical will coach you through the entire job process and will help you land an opportunity that you are truly excited about. Vector does not add any additional fees and offers benefits as well as free online skills training through Penn Foster. To learn more, visit www.vectortechnicalinc.com and make sure to check out our job board to see a full list of our current opportunities and apply.
Welcome back to the Voice of Land. Let's do what we always do at the end of the show. Well, we try to do throughout the whole show, but we try to do extra at the end of the show, and that's have a little bit of fun and have more fun conversations at the end of the show, especially during Brown season, because the conversations aren't that fun throughout the show. I am Kevin Arnold. He is always Positive J. He is Peter Tellep, or better known as the AI System Audio. And Cleveland Cavaliers get a split at home. They were up in the game on Friday, and then just what their biggest issue right now is they go cold, and when they get cold, it is ice cold.
Especially with Donovan Mitchell out.
And I think that is probably even the bigger issue, is that they haven't really been able to have a consistent stretch of games with their main starters and even their main reserves coming in off the bench. Kevin Love has missed some games. You've had even Jared Allen miss a couple games, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland from the starters group. Sometimes you're having to go down to Raul Neto off the bench as your point guard because Ricky Rubio's not ready yet, but he's starting 5-on-5.
Which I am so excited to get him back and so happy for him to come back.
Karis LeVert's been out sometimes, and I love that he took on the bench role. I think I even heard stories that he brought it up to JB as much as JB and the coaching staff brought it up to him, that he was willing to do that. And that shows you that this team is about winning. If everybody's able to buy in, remember, we saw Karis LeVert. Why were we so excited when he got traded here? We saw games like 40, 50 points with the Pacers, but the Pacers weren't really going anywhere. He's trying to find his role here, and he's figuring what that role is.
And a lot of people are giving him crap.
Yeah.
He keeps getting injured. Every time he's getting into a groove, he gets hurt, it feels like. And not to mention, he went from being one of the main scorers on a team where he can volume shoot, and now they're like, we need you to just score when we need you to score because we have 2 point guards that could fill it up. Jared Allen's going to get his on his own. Same with Evan Mobley. We just need you to add in 15, 20 points here a night. And that's not easy to do. You're changing.
No, it's not.
You're completely changing what you're so used to doing.
And I think the theme of the show is, we're talking about, we don't want to make excuses, but you have to look at extenuating circumstances and be realistic. If good teams want to become great in the NBA, they fight through that adversity of some guys are out here and there, but they're still able to win enough games to put them in position. Everybody gets back healthy, whether for the stretch run or into the playoffs. They're in a good position for that. The Cavs are in a little different circumstance. Yes, they have the talent where they should be beating some of these teams, even with some of their guys out. As good as Donovan Mitchell is, this team didn't have him last year, and they won 44 games, and they were the grittiest team. They were the team that would get after you, make you work the whole time. They need to maintain that in games where they don't have everybody. But when you are such a new team, still trying to build that chemistry, it's not actually established. It's much different for that than a team that's already established, that's working from good to great, that can bank on some of their culture, their morals, or what they've done in the past. When you're trying to filter in such a new guy, such a new dynamic of such a star in Donovan Mitchell, I think the Cavs, while doing that, have lost a little bit of that underdog, gritty.
I don't know. They got the number 1 defense in the league.
Yeah, but like you see those stretches where
the
all fades
offense
away.
is just, it gets stale at times. I feel like I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about. There's certain units, and I don't want to say who's on the unit because I love all the players so much, but some of those players aren't going to be able to score points like Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. They're just not capable of doing it. Sometimes they are, especially for, I keep seeing that too. Like, what is that? Home games. Like, at home games, you're going to see the Okoro stepping up, the Cedi Osman stepping up, but on the road, especially, we struggle a lot.
Yeah. It's building that identity. I don't want to say that they've completely lost that grittiness. Like, it's there. That culture is there, and these guys are buying into it. I think so. A little bit,
and we didn't argue. That's great.
Right. We're understanding where the other person's coming from. I guess to clarify from my side is it has a little bit more. You're starting to get that star mentality, like bigger stage feel for this team. That was a team that's coming from nothing, building in to the limelight last year. Like, I want to see that team. I miss it at times. It's there again, but the reason why it's missing at times is because they're not able to have everybody at all at the same time.
What I'm hoping right now, like my silver lining of Donovan Mitchell being out right now, one, I hope it's just minor and they're just getting him rest because he has been playing a boatload of minutes. Don't make a minor injury a major injury. But right now is a good opportunity for people like Evan Mobley to step up his game. Which he has.
Yeah.
He really has.
I think he was the reason they won last night.
Oh, yeah.
He was the guy that stepped up the most.
And, yeah, you just need the other guys. All right, let's figure out what we do, how we could play without Donovan Mitchell on the court. It's just going to make them better.
Yeah.
Like, they have such a great culture there right now, and I love JB Bickerstaff. Like, they're going to work through this. Like, they're incredibly young, incredibly talented, but they work hard and they have the desire to win. So that's why I don't worry about this team whatsoever. Do I expect them to win a championship this year? No. But I expect a nice playoff run from them.
Run.
I really think it's going to happen for sure.
As Emmett Golden always says from ESPN Cleveland,
you got to get there and lose before you get there and win.
Yeah, you got to.
I don't agree with it.
I don't
agree
either,
with it
because you've seen those teams that have just, they kind of pass by that step.
In basketball, it works more.
Yeah.
In football, it does not apply. I'm sorry, because all the Super Bowl losers always suck the next year. That's why I was like, I don't know if that's always true.
And there's always that crappy team that everybody feels like it's going to be crappy again in the NFL that has like this standout year, but they can't sustain it.
Here's another one.
I want sustainability.
Yeah. But sorry to get off topic. He does this saying, it's if every day is a rainy day or every day is a sunny day, then what's a sunny day? And I'm like, so he's basically implying like if every day is sunny, like it's not a big deal if it's sunny. Right. No, Emmett, if every day was a rainy day, what's a rainy day is how it's supposed to be. Because if it's sunny every day, once in a while you have a rainy day, you appreciate the crappy rainy day. Sorry, had to get on that rant. It drives me. I've been trying to get on the air and rant on that with him for a while.
Well, here's
I'm buying time.
Here's your platform right here.
I'm buying time.
I know you are. Trust me, I'm keeping an eye on it. I will close our Cavs conversation by saying, because you said something I can't exactly remember, but it just jogged a thought into my head, that the Cavs, I feel like, are a little too reliant on having Donovan Mitchell because they don't have enough chemistry with him in the lineup, having that star, that superstar in the lineup, that when he's not there, everything, it seems like a lot of everything else of what they've built fades away. When they can learn to play with Donovan and how to play without Donovan and play at high levels with both of those, that's when this team will take that next step.
Totally agree. That's why I said this is a great opportunity to learn how to do that. So you want to talk some football?
I do.
You got only 6 minutes.
I do want to give you a chance because you did promise.
Yes. I told Rick Onya, friend of show, he's got, I think it's the Brown Bag Lunch event coming up for his Rake Foundation, which is Random Acts of Kindness. And he basically he does everything for the city. Like So this time we're all going to meet up at, where are we at here? The Madison downtown. And it's on December 17th from 10 to 11 a.m. And the party goes past that, because you're going there and you're all going to make sandwiches, put cookies, and make a brown bag lunch. And we bring it to the homeless shelter and feed them. And a whole group of kids that usually show up and stuff, they all write notes, like just happy notes, like have a great day or something like that. And they put it in there. It's not work. It is just the funnest time you'll ever have making sandwiches. Swear to God, it is a great time. You'll leave there feeling just so good about what you did. It's not that's why I say I told them it's not an unselfish act going there, because you are getting rewarded for it, but it's not like a cash reward. It's the greatest reward. It's the feeling. And there's no words to describe what I'm trying to say right now, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yes. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. So make sure holiday give back with Rickonia, with Rake, Random Acts of Kindness, everywhere at the Madison Hotel coming up on December 17th. So, prayers and well wishes to everybody that does participate in that to help out. I don't want to bring the mood of the show down too much. I just want to briefly touch on this, but I would not be doing my job right if I didn't do this. Driving to Frankenmuth, Michigan. And yes, I did say the state of Michigan. That's not the point right now. Driving to Bronner's, the Christmas store, and nice little weekend getaway with the wife. We got the news that Grant Wall, longtime writer for Sports Illustrated, and now been working with Fox Sports, been a big proponent for the game of soccer, been promoting it in this country for a long time. He's even written articles and known LeBron for a while. I know LeBron talked about him as well. Grant Wall, unfortunately, suddenly passing away at the World Cup. I know some people have shared a little bit of the story. It was while he was covering, I believe it was the Portugal match. I could be wrong there, but doing what he loved, and a medical emergency occurred. And unfortunately, he is no longer with us. So I wanted to send all of the prayers, condolences, well wishes to him, his family, his wife, all of their family, their friends, colleagues, all of them that know him. I've read a lot of Grant Wall stuff. I've at least followed him on Twitter because he is one of those people that have promoted the sport of soccer that I've loved my entire life, basically. And someone that I kind of look to as a role model for what it takes to get into this industry, no matter which direction you may take, written, verbal, on screen, whatever it may be. But one of the really good people in this industry, and just good as a person, we lost too soon. So all the prayers and condolences to Grant Wall's family, friends, and colleagues losing him so early, I believe at the age of 48 or 49. But I know he was loving covering the World Cup, and he was covering the U.S. team as well. One of the guys that was kind of talking about how, I just saw tweets from him talking about how the U.S. team needed to switch gears from their coach, Greg Berhalter, after they bowed out of the tournament against the Netherlands, against the Dutch recently. And then, just a couple of days later, no longer with us. So definitely hearts are heavy in the soccer community here in the United States. I know I said we would try to get out by 8:00. We will talk World Cup next week. Actually, that's a really good idea. I'm just going to take a moment of silence here on the show, just to remember Grant Wall and everything that he meant to the sport of soccer. Thank you for anyone that did the same thing as well. It's hard, and to switch gears and talk about the action.
It's not an easy transition whatsoever.
It's not an easy transition.
There's no easy way to do it.
And I don't know that I want to, but I know he's the type of person that's would probably want everybody. And I don't want to speak for him because I didn't know him personally, but love the sport so much. Like, he just wants to see people loving the sport that he was trying to promote and seeing it grow in this country. And I think the advantage, or what he has done so well, to promote the sport. I think there's a lot more people still interested in this World Cup right now, even though the United States is out of it. And we've seen a lot of really good matches, a lot of good action. We're already down to the semifinals. It's crazy to think about.
I mean, I'm seeing a lot of just chatter on Brown's Twitter picking up about the World Cup. Like a lot of people are getting into it.
Yeah. And yes, it comes every 4 years, and would like to see more people do that when it's not just the World Cup and some other tournaments or just regular games. It's going to take a while, and people would have to find a team. There's not that team that you can just go to right in your city.
I mean, there's two great stories right now. You have Messi, who's you said has never won the World Cup.
Never won the World Cup.
He's got a chance to finally do it.
Yep.
And you got your Cinderella story in Morocco, who I could say that country's name a million times. I absolutely love it.
Yes.
So, I mean,
and it was fun in the group stage as a Cinderella story, but you can tell Morocco is a team. They are for real. I'm at this point, I might still be a little surprised, but it's not going to shock me to my core.
I wanted to ask
that Morocco wins.
Thank you for reminding me. So now the World Cup's every 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a lot? Is it because I don't know if they play their countries play more than every 4 years? Like, is there one like in between? Is it like really every 2 years they compete with each other? Is there like a FIFA championship or something like that?
So on the international level where it's
before I finish.
Yeah.
And does that make it harder to predict who's actually going to be like really good? Like everyone's like Brazil's great, and I think they have Neymar, who's a great player, but you haven't really seen them play as a country team as much as you see like the Premier League players and teams and stuff like that. Does it make it harder to predict and less and more just chaotic, I guess, which is kind of fun?
I love that you're asking me these questions.
Thank
as
you.
I look at the clock, I'm not so happy that you're asking me these questions right now.
Soccer. If you're talking soccer, you don't give a crap if you're doing
yeah, but I'm going to answer them because I think you asked two vitally important questions if people are trying to continue past the World Cup watching teams or watching these countries play. When players leave their club teams, so as LeBron playing for the Lakers, then leaving that to go to the Olympics and playing for Team USA. Christian Pulisic leaving Chelsea, which is in the English Premier League, to go play for the U.S. in a World Cup. There are other tournaments that they do play in the off years. So the main tournament that the U.S. plays in is called the Gold Cup. That's just within their qualifying region here in CONCACAF in North America. So that's us, Canada, Mexico, all of those islands and stuff, Trinidad and Tobago, countries like that.
Now, side question from that, does that make like the English teams and stuff like that better because their competition is a little bit better over there than it is over here? Or are those countries around here just as good as those ones over here?
It just depends on the country that you're looking at and the level. So the US isn't always easy to follow. And I love your question because this conversation just came up and I saw it on Twitter as well. US trying to get in some bigger tournaments. So there's Copa America that involves
I remember hearing that.
North and South America. Usually it's more the South American teams, Brazil, Argentina, teams like that are at a much higher level or have a collection of talent that's at a much higher level. The U.S. feels like we are getting a group of talent that is developing by playing more in Europe than just here in MLS and in America. So they are being tested on the biggest stages. When they come together, they have a better sense of what it takes to play soccer at the highest level. You need to play against more teams like that more often and not just at a World Cup where it's that one-off and you don't get the job done like they didn't against the Netherlands. They didn't know how to approach that game. They felt like they were approaching it more like a group stage game than a knockout stage game. What does that actually take? Playing against high-ranking countries in the world. That's why the U.S. should be playing in Copa America. And I think there might be a announcement coming, if it hasn't already, 2024 playing Copa America, but they'll play in the Gold Cup. There's all these other little tournaments from a country standpoint. Of course, throughout the year, you have the club teams and they're playing in their league. Plus they're playing in the Champions League and other cups. There's like 3 different championships you can win.
Soccer is very complex.
It is very complex, but if you take it step by step, you find a team, follow them. Oh, they're playing a team from Italy. Well, why is that? Then you research what that tournament's like. Now you start to see that, and you start to see some of these players you were rooting for in the World Cup playing with other guys you may have been rooting against in that. So that's kind of the dynamic between playing for your country and club. But to your second question of does it make it difficult to predict? I think it's becoming more and more difficult to predict because the biggest tournament outside of the World Cup is the European Championships. So a lot of people go either to a European team because they play more together in high level competitions than anybody else. Brazil is just Brazil. Argentina, those two playing in Copa America, that has more respect than the Gold Cup. People, I'm sure if I say Gold Cup, most people have not heard of that outside of inner soccer circles. So there are plenty of tournaments to follow, but it sure as heck makes it more difficult. And now when you got a country like Morocco that is just a team, it's kind of like the San Antonio Spurs where it wasn't that dominant player, but it's just one culture, one set mindset, get the job done, do what you have to do to move on, do what you have to do to maybe get to the top. That's what they're doing. They're taking the world by storm, but they got a shot just like anybody else in these semifinals. You got the defending champions in France. You got Argentina. Can Messi finally win a World Cup? Boy, I would probably cry if that.
That's what I'm rooting for.
And
I'm pulling for him. I love it, like Morocco versus them. Like I'd be happy either way.
And it's kind of fun. I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo is a great player. It's kind of fun to see him go out and, because he's more about him than he is.
Oh my God. Me and Bree had a conversation about him. She does not like him at all.
No. And he has got he's more about self than he is about team. And yes, he's a talented player. Portugal was a talented team. They ran into Morocco. They ran into the story that is Morocco. Cristiano Ronaldo was benched for the last couple of games. He had to come off the bench. He had a chance to tie it up against Morocco. Didn't get the job done. If Messi were to win this World Cup, I'm not saying he's going to because them playing against Croatia, that is not going to be an easy game. Croatia is a very difficult team as well. They play just.
Is that the guy with the great goalie team? It's Croatia.
I don't.
Who beat Brazil?
Oh, Croatia.
Yeah. They got that really good goalie, I believe.
Yeah. So, it's gonna be fun. Semifinals start on Tuesday. I think that day is that Croatia Argentina? It might be. Tuesday might be Croatia Argentina, then the next day might be France Morocco, or it's flipped. So we'll go one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, and then you won't get any more games until Saturday. They'll do the third place game, I believe, on Saturday, World Cup final on Sunday, and we will talk about it right here on the Voice of the Land. And next week we will definitely try to get out at 8:00, but I gotta cut it there. We gotta wrap things up.
I told you I'd get you.
I know, but partially for good reason. We need to talk about Grant Wall. So again, continued prayers and well wishes there. Congratulations to the Pauluses on the announcement of having a boy. Make sure to, if you want more information, I'm sure all you got to do is follow Rick Onya on Twitter. I'm sure there's information there. Connect with him. Give back exactly the exact name of the event.
It's not on there. It used to just be the brown bag event. I'm pretty sure
it said something about give back.
It's just a rake event.
Okay, so another random acts of kindness event coming up on Saturday.
If you can't make it, just donate a couple bucks. If you
donate a couple bucks. For Always Positive Jay, for Peter Telep or Audio, I'm Kevin Arnold, reminding all of you sports fans out there, fans anywhere, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. We truly love you all, 3,000.
Don't talk about it. Be about it.
And live life, all gas, no breaks. We will be back next Sunday for our holiday special on Sunday nights after the Browns play on Saturday. That'll be weird, but we'll talk about it all right here on the Voice of the Land on the Big Play Network.